Welcome to Through the Table Podcast with Brian, JL, Tom, Rick, and Russ.
Big news of the week. More WWE releases. Pretty much the end of NXT / Triple H.
The Triple H is NXT. Yep.
He cheated on Stephanie, right? Like, are we at that point right now where we can just believe that he cheated on Stephanie? Because this is like a bludgeoning.
They poisoned his meal, and he had a heart issue from it.
Cardiac incident.
Right.
Just tried to kill him.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking something happened. I mean, that relationship was based off of cheating, usually, continues, but something had to have happened. No, that's Captain Hindsight. Something had to have happened, right? Like they were racing this man.
Basically.
He's still part of the family last time I checked.
Who would know? He doesn't talk anymore.
I was gonna say what.
He's in witness protection somewhere.
We did this before. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to see when the last time he tweeted anything was.
Definitely nothing about NXT.
I guess it's people in the back and everything that are livid that these changes are happening too.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of people are upset over the William Regal one.
Oh yeah.
Even former employees are upset.
They got rid of all the coaches except for Albert or Bloom, whatever you want to call him. He's the only guy that left. Everyone else that was a coach is gone now.
So the last time Triple H tweeted anything was December 8th, and it was when Blackjack Lanza passed away. So
did they have him tied in the basement or something?
So a month ago.
Probably.
Is he in the basement of the McMahon compound? Is that what's happening?
He tweeted a retweet on December 8th about the NIL program when they announced the first class. And and that was it. And then he the last time it was September 21st was when he thanked everybody for tweeting at him. And then December 2nd, it was just a retweet. And then three other retweets on December 8th about the NIL program, and then the Blackjack Lanza thing, and that's it.
Every single solitary person in the WWE either leaves, gets released, and some come back. Like maybe Triple H's thing was, the curtain call, but like Bruce Pritchard came back. Like everybody has like a certain shelf life.
I mean, Shane McMahon left and came back.
Right. Like I think Stephanie is the only person that hasn't felt a wrath to at least the fans. Well, who knows? I mean, she went with Triple H, so she could have been ruined from there, but I don't know. But like it's weird that now Triple H is getting his again. Like they're hating on him for whatever reason.
I just can't believe that I mean, I don't know if this is actually the truth, but it's like if they're hating on Triple H so bad that they're just literally firing everybody that's even associated with him. It's like something's up. Something just I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean,
And like, I mean, he's even like rewind it to Flair. Flair being gone too. He was Triple H's guy for a little bit, or they were each other's guys for a little
Mhm.
bit.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know who's left besides like Jeremy Borash now from who Triple H hired down there.
Michaels, right?
I think Michaels came back because Terry Taylor was hurt,
Mm.
But Shawn Michaels is obviously
but
bulletproof.
he's kind of, yeah, he's one of those where it's just,
is he though?
I think so.
Absolutely with
Because he's
with the
taken over
90s.
now. He's in charge over there. Him and
The
Pritchard
Triple-
are running the shows.
We thought Triple H was bulletproof though too, especially being married into the family.
sure,
and obviously
sure.
that's
Mhm.
definitely not the case.
I mean,
But
no one's
Shawn
ever
is more
bulletproof, but no one's bulletproof for everything. But it seems right now he is.
Right.
Because Shawn has gotten away with everything.
Just about.
The 90s, everybody hated him, but he was like the greatest. So they couldn't hate. He didn't go to WCW.
Hmm.
Brett, the whole Brett Montreal Screwdrop, like he's bulletproof.
A lot of people thought Regal was.
Yep.
Yeah. But see, like I can see why they would let go of Regal, just because I mean, like for countless years now, he's going to PWG shows and scouting all this. Like he
Mhm.
was really the first guy to be like, hey, there's this whole
Hmm.
crop
Yep.
of people out there that
Yeah.
that are having all these matches, tearing up, everywhere they go. Maybe we should start looking at them instead of hiring Gene Snitsky and Mark Jindrak, like
Mhm.
just football players and whatnot. Like these guys can actually work,
Right.
and I feel like it almost seems like Vince was so like angry that AEW beat them on Wednesdays that they were just like, this, obviously this isn't working,
Right.
with this style, but it's like it was working. It worked for AEW. You know what I mean? Like it's that style of wrestling, and it was working. I mean, they were still putting up decent numbers.
They weren't awful.
And at the same time, it's why do they even care about the numbers? They're still getting a crap ton of money from all these networks. I just well, that's what it just seems like. It just seems like oh, we couldn't do this, and that's it. Like we're just gonna just start over. Like the main event of NXT this week, Braun Breaker comes out. There's a big black and gold X in the middle of the entranceway, and he
Mhm.
just kicks it right in half. And I'm like, well, they just telegraphed that whole thing right there. Just
Yep.
that was it. That was the last. Ciampa's gone. I wouldn't be surprised if either Ciampa's gone or like I don't know.
He takes the Regal spot.
I was gonna say he might be the head trainer now for all we
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I think he has a lot of not that it matters, but he has a lot of years on his contract.
It doesn't matter anymore to anybody.
Most of the people who were released did too.
Yeah, right. Sure.
What's the end game with these releases?
Well, Freddie Prinze Jr. talked about it, and we've talked about it, and everybody seems to talk about it, about them selling it, bringing down their roster to one roster for both Raw and SmackDown. That makes sense. And especially with Brock and Roman leading to whenever they eventually fight, maybe they can merge that title and then start merging everything. They started a merge in NXT with the cruiserweight and North American, so
Right.
maybe they're slowly doing all that.
I want to get into the Brock and Roman Reigns thing at some point. during the course of our show here tonight. I have me a theory on that. But we'll continue with this topic because obviously more releases. No, that's not Nostradamus thing. That's an observation.
If you're thinking they're going to go to one roster, then it would make sense for WrestleMania to have all unification matches.
Yep.
Because you get a couple of months lead into it, so it's not just all right. In 2 weeks, we're going to do it at the Rumble or whenever the Rumble is.
Yeah, with 2 nights, they could have almost like a tournament too, or something.
We could headline the women's on night 1, the men on night 2, the tag teams on probably night 1. Intercontinental and US on night 2. So you wouldn't just have everything on one night. And the first night would be a throwaway night almost.
Yeah, or they could have people wrestle both nights. Like they could have like a.
They should have people wrestle both nights.
Like a almost like a NCAA football, college football championship, where they could have like four the first night, and then the following night is, the ultimate tag team winner, ultimate world champion, etc.
Where you kind of do it how Wrestle Kingdom does it, and the first night is tag team matches with the people involved in the singles matches, night 2, and so forth with the night 1 singles guys or a night 2 tag nights. So you're still kind of keeping the feuds involved that are going to happen that weekend.
Yeah, it should be interesting because everything's gonna make sense after the Royal Rumble.
You hope so.
And I mean, who knows? Next week it could be totally normal, not different, whatever. But the Brock win has been ratings success. And
overall viewers success, the 18 to 49 demo didn't tick up at all. Unfortunately, the Raw median age was 61, which is higher than usual.
All 3 of you had a chance to go to Raw tonight, SmackDown tonight.
Did we though?
I mean,
I can't get there in the snow. I mean, it's icy out, so I don't want to hurt myself.
We should have, because then we would have only had to pay for 1 ticket, and 2 of us got in for free.
I've gotten in for free.
Look at that.
They were giving out free tickets to people that have the Mohegan Sun card because it's not sold out. If you go there and spend a certain amount of money, and we could all go tomorrow too, since they're at the Garden. No, wait, that's Sunday.
Yeah, all set with that.
Yep. The super show without a lineup.
Yeah, all set sitting through a house show.
I'm shocked they're doing the Garden on a house show. I don't get it.
I know. So this Roman Reigns thing, him getting COVID and all that, them shifting Lesnar over to the Raw title just on a whim within hours of the show. It's a little too coincidental, don't you think?
I would say maybe usually, but right now, everyone on Earth is either getting COVID, has COVID, et cetera, et cetera.
Which is why they'll use that. If they're unifying the titles, why have Brock versus Roman now? They know they can't get The Rock for WrestleMania. So why get Brock versus Roman now when you can have Brock with the title, Roman with a title to unify the belts? The ultimate payoff with Heyman in the middle. And what's the best way to do that? Roman's got COVID. He can't make it. Which, by the way, if you noticed, what was it, on Tuesday, they released a statement, Tuesday or Wednesday, released a statement that he's miraculously recovered now. Everything's fine. He'll be there on Friday.
They announced that yesterday.
Yeah.
Thursday morning.
Usually you need 5 to 10 days.
5 days now by the CDC, it's 5 days.
5 days now.
But miraculously, he'll be fine. He'll be there. He'll be there Friday.
Well, the one thing that made me curious about it was they never say anybody has COVID. And they outright said that Roman had it. And they never have said anyone has it, which kind of
still don't know what Sasha had.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Remember, everything is a story. Mm-hmm. Everything, it can be used used his leukemia as a storyline at one point. Ask
Mhm.
John Moxley how uncomfortable that was.
Yeah, right, right.
Of course, they're going to use COVID as a storyline. 100% would. And I know the whole world is getting it right now, which is why they would use it. It's an easy thing. This was months ago before this Omicron came out and no one was getting it anymore. All right, it's a little suspect. But now that everyone's getting it, I mean, it's perfect. Perfect to do. This is actually an observation. This isn't actually a
Oh, no,
prediction.
I was very curious too when they changed it because they never say anyone has COVID, and they did outright all over the place.
Yep.
Vince hates to say that word.
He hates to see weakness.
Mm-hmm. But they made a big deal about pointing it out over and over again, which is like kind of made you wonder.
Then Heyman said it in the promo.
Yep.
And it's
Mhm.
just, that is kind of weird. But
I can totally see it.
I mean,
I think this was the plan from the beginning.
at the same time though, it's I mean, if it is legit, it's, I mean, he tested positive supposedly that morning, that Saturday morning.
Saturday, yeah.
So
They probably knew a couple of days earlier, but they didn't want to say.
They had pulled him off the
The
SmackDown
show.
prior, so they taped it before. I think everyone been tested a few days after Christmas for the when they had to do all their live events there,
right.
and they pulled them out of it. So they probably knew.
Just trying to think if like I was just thinking like if it was that last minute, maybe they there's really nothing else they can do at that point. I mean, they can't really run an angle like at the show. It's their hands were tied.
Sure.
But it is kind of weird that just for the last 2 years they've never mentioned COVID at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's like, but I mean, it does make sense. That's the best way to get out of that match.
Well, they've
Yeah.
had commercials of like wearing a mask and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Wearing a mask is different. Admitting COVID is something that they haven't done in
Right.
2 years.
Because the one thing that I noticed was Seth Rollins said that he had COVID over the weekend before and he missed Raw, but they never mentioned it on Raw
Yep.
or on social media at all that he had it. So they kind of wiped that one under the rug, but they make notice of this one in like big bold letters, stars around it.
None of the people who were pulled off of house shows and all that stuff over the last couple of weeks were ever mentioned on TV as having or even suspected of having COVID.
Right.
But Roman Reigns, all of a sudden, an hour before the show, hey, he's got COVID. He's not going to work tonight.
Right.
Then you throw Lesnar into the title match, which is already supposedly set up, and he's the one that's going over. I mean, look, if I'm one of the guys in that four-way, I'm pissed.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
pissed.
I read a story.
You're always one of the guys in the four-way for one.
I read a story. Was it either today or yesterday that it was the original plan was supposed to be Seth Rollins winning the title.
Ew. Ew.
Interesting. So Big E wasn't going to survive either way?
I guess not.
No, they for some reason management soured on his title reign, just like they did with McIntyre last year.
Well,
Yeah,
and
they totally crapped on it.
It sucks too because the whole thing from the start kind of sucked. You know what I mean? Like he cashed in on a beat up Bobby Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he never looked like a strong baby.
No, not at all. Mm-mm.
And he should just be like mowing dudes down at that point, just
right.
because he's a house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, at least they gave Kofi at least he got wins over like Randy Orton and stuff. Big E just maybe won a couple like random 6-mans or something.
I was going to say, did he have any real big defenses?
I don't think he won a singles match, did he?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Not that I can remember.
He lost a bunch of I know he lost a few during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Some non-title stuff. He was a very weak-looking champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sucks too because everybody did. They got behind it.
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
And then just petered out real quick.
Well, what's the old thing that you've heard like Punk say and other people say is that if somebody makes themselves in there, eventually the machine's just going to crap on you
True.
because they want what they're going to make.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see that now just in going back to the whole NXT thing.
Yep.
All those guys that were in NXT for the longest time. You know what I mean? Those were already made, on the indies, had names,
Yep.
and it's just, especially like it was a weird time in it, like where everybody was keeping their names, you know what I mean? Or just, but even that it's, once again, it's how do you pick who keeps their name? You know what I mean? Like you have Ricochet keeps his name, but yet, Eli Drake has to become LA Knight.
Yep.
And it makes, why did, Taya have to change it to Frankie Monet when, Deonna Purrazzo had her name for,
Right.
or whatever, Chelsea Green.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, a lot of those, so it's just, it's.
It made no sense who was able to keep him and not.
It was just real inconsistent.
Mm-hmm. I mean, now no one keeps it, obviously. Just about. I mean, there's only a few that have kept their name.
Yeah, as I said, probably I'd say AJ right now is Tommaso, but
the other one is Briggs, Josh Briggs.
Josh Briggs, yeah.
But he might be the last one.
Gay cowboy Josh Briggs.
I'm saying like the new crop down there in NXT that are on TV now. Yeah. He might be the only guy.
Well, it's funny because didn't he sign with the same? I think it was the same class as Christian Casanova there.
Yes.
Carmelo Hayes.
Yep.
So it's like, why did Josh Briggs get to keep his name, but I guess Christian Casanova is kind of not really a great name. I'd rather be Carmelo Hayes than Christian Casanova.
That's probably because of Christian. They don't want the Christian name in there, so they automatically were going to change him. I figure probably.
People get very confused by the same name, except for fans who watch AEW.
he would work. In AEW, he would have the name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he would have to fight Christian somehow in a match on like Dark.
Because Tony Khan doesn't believe that his fans are stupid.
Exactly.
Much like Vince McMahon thinks all of the fans are stupid.
Adam Cole was going to be changed if he did go to the main roster.
Oh yeah, he was going to get his hair cut and dyed blonde and
arugula pistachio.
It's going to be Robert Stone Jr.
Was that it?
It's going to be Colson Adams. The third.
No, that's too good. Probably be like Ridley or something, some name that makes no sense for him.
It would be one name because, again, two names are confusing for a lot of people.
That's true. Only a few people have ever gotten their name back.
That's why it's Big E and not Big E Langston.
Mustafa Ali got his name back, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Veer got his name back.
No, Veer got a name added.
But Veer's walking the Raw, apparently.
Maybe he met up with Elias.
Elias kidnapped him.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember Emmalina when she was
yeah.
And then she finally came out and was like, nah, I was just joking.
Right.
Veer's gonna come on and be like, nah, I'm cool. I'm just gonna
I guess he's been working main event, but he still just hasn't made Raw yet.
So
which makes even less sense.
Why keep putting the especially with WWE, they're so notorious for just like something happens one week and then the next week it's like, oh, it's I mean, how many times is like Bobby Lashley in the Hurt Business broken up and then like the next week they're just like, oh, you need two black dudes to help you out? We're still friends, right?
No, we're fine with each other. Right? It's okay. Odd.
It's just weird. There's no consistency. None.
Hey, the Hurt Business is the best faction of 2021.
Are they?
Someone's been watching the shows.
Sure has.
I don't think I got that far.
Oh, then you don't know who the rest of the year is from Russ.
No, I don't. I have to watch it. I don't want to get it spoiled.
We won't. You'll never guess who it is.
I just ruined that one.